My people, what up, though? We are back with another episode of All Black Men Need Therapy. I'm your boy, Chief.
And I'm Bell.
And I'm Butterfly. So
My guy Butta joined us today. Prentice is tied up. He just got back from an East Coast trip. He's been on the East Coast twice within the last week. So brother's at home taking care of business. But nevertheless, we here and we're going to keep this party rolling. Fellas, it's good to see y'all. Happy to keep this train rolling and keep the consistency going. Butter, we appreciate you for joining us, bro. We definitely appreciate you.
for sure. Great to be seen, man. Great to be seen. It's very
For
interesting
sure.
time.
For sure. I've been seeing you on the internets, on the interwebs, fashionista out here. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's great. That whole jump into that has been crazy for me.
That's dope though. If you watch and you see his at Butterfly Soul, follow him. He's a fashionista extraordinaire doing some big things. Y'all check him out. Nevertheless, fellas, let's get right into it. Butter, since you're already going, check in, baby. How you be? How you living? How you feeling?
Honestly, like I couldn't wait to have this conversation. When I got the invitation, I was like, yes. Got a very interesting phone call from a classmate from high school. And
Wow.
it was interesting. And so being the big ages that we are.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to play. But listen, for those of y'all who don't know, high school was a long time ago.
It was a lot of longs. But anyway, it was that long ago, y'all. And so this person called, drunk. And like just professing love and friendship. And I was just like, wow, what must he be going through that he needed to make this phone call? And he said, I need you. He said, I need you a couple of times. He's like, I need my brother back. I need my best friend. And I was like, I ain't going nowhere. But I also recognize that we got older, life lifed, and we're like, whoa. So I'm feeling grateful. I feel like that I was able to have that phone call.
Not to cut you up, but I know we had a different topic on the agenda, but I feel like in light of that particular statement right here, we should switch to the other one. And I think I'm going to do that. So keep telling your story, but I think in lieu of what you just said, it's only right that we continue to have this next conversation. But go ahead.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna.
And so how I feel good. I think the whole fashion thing, people won't believe me, but it's new-ish for me as being the person in front of the camera. I'm used to like styling people or getting them ready to go in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. So it's been fun to play in clothes that I have in my closet that I never wore. Mm-hmm. And learning in real time yet again.
Subtle flex. Yeah. If you've seen his Instagram, there's nothing subtle about that flex. If you've seen some of the pieces this man has had on, so continue. Sorry.
Grateful. So I'm gonna shut up at this point. I'm just saying, like, I didn't realize taking those pictures would impact my self-esteem, would change how I honor myself. And it's not really the pictures, it's more or less like the willingness to be seen fully.
Exactly.
Like that was like, what the wait, hold up, I'm out here. And people are responding in all kinds of ways. I don't have any of it as bad. I don't have any of it as good, but it's definitely feedback. And we know that feedback has no inherent meaning. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Got it. I need to keep doing this consistently. But it's been cool. It's been cool. Like more people are following me. That part has been fun. I'm not really into that part, but the clothes thing has been funny with what its impact has been. Got my first suit I haven't had in 10 years. Wore it at an event, the People's Gala that happened last Friday. So yeah, life is good.
That's dope, man. Couple things about that. One, I forgot exactly how you said it, but basically you said the fashion isn't necessarily new for me, but being seen as this person is new. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but I find that interesting, man, because I think I kind of had a moment like that this week, and it wasn't anything deep, or at least I didn't think so, but I had a moment to myself, and I'm like, I had a one of my close friends. He just came home from jail after doing 4 years or something like that. Nonetheless, he had a conversation with me, and he basically was like, he makes good money at the job he has, and he basically was like, Bell, like, whatever you tell me to do with my money, I'm going to do because I want to. I want to get on track. He's like, there's a big piece that I missed, so he's like, I need to get on track, and I'm like, I got you, bro. What I got you. Don't even worry about that. But I say that to say, the whole routine thing. I think about that sometimes because there's things that I do that people can probably benefit from, maybe, right? But I don't share. Like I don't want to be seen, right? Like I don't want to be seen doing some of these things. And not because I don't think it's helpful, but more so it's like, am I the right messenger? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like for me, it's like again, I know that a lot of things. I mean, we all have pockets of our life that someone can benefit from, right? Which is why we have the podcast.
There's only one way, if I may, for you to be the wrong messenger. There's only one way.
How's that?
If
love
I
it.
send your message.
If what?
If I try to send your message.
Mm,
You were entrusted with that message to share it. What I think happens with a lot of us, your ain't gots and your stuff starts to talk for you.
yeah.
You know, it's like, well, you gonna say that given what you did 2 days ago? You sure you're
Right.
the right person? As opposed to, I believe that, I refer to it as God, but whatever this power is greater than us, uses who needs to be used in that moment. Somebody may have only a listening for you, where the message has to come through you. If
Mm,
you would focus on just being the vessel and let the contents be the contents, I think that will give you some freedom to not judge yourself as needing to be. What better messenger for a brother who's just come home from jail to talk to someone who's lived a lot of life that people are dreaming and have,
mm,
who people who may not ever reach that goal, right? Who better than you to talk to? There's nobody in his life better. And the difference is you don't sound like a mama or a dad, right?
right.
It's
Right.
peer to peer. So
Yeah.
it's us
Yep.
learning together. I don't want you to ever think that a message in your hand will somehow fumble. The only way that can occur is if the person is either not ready or don't want it.
Hmm.
Outside of that, your only job is to deliver the mail. Does your mailman wait for you to open your mail?
No.
No.
Drops
The
it off.
mailman
Yeah.
drops it off. The mailman is not shaking your bills like you want to get to these first.
Mm,
Your job is just to deliver the message. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It may have been the right time for you, may be the wrong person. Who knows? But you won't know until you share it, right? And people are going to always give you feedback. They're always going to let you
right.
know. But your last name is Bellamy, and we call you Bell. You are designed to make noise.
Oh man, Butta always got them one-liners, boy.
But you were designed like, why would you mute a bell? A mute bell don't work. It don't. Name one bell that works muted. None,
Right.
not one of them. I wouldn't dare have you mute yourself in that way. We would miss out because you have such an old soul. We
Hmm.
would miss out on the wisdom and the youthful technology that comes with it.
Mm.
That's the difference.
That's
You
great
have
feedback.
technology, but then you also have that wisdom, and you've been listening to your father.
Hmm.
You can tell that there's been men around you speaking into you. And
Right.
so, quite naturally, those of us who didn't have that, we're going to come to you and be like, you can be father to us, son, brother, cousin. We don't care what the title or the role is. If you're imparting wisdom, then it works. If you want to emasculate any man on the planet, remove his ability to provide.
Mm.
He's emasculated almost immediately. That's why I think about the holidays the way I do. When I think about fathers who want to provide for their children, right? And can't, I just asked somebody just straight up today, like, did you get all your food stamps? And they're like, well, I'm waiting to find out on the 10th. And I'm like, ugh. I don't have that kind of worry, so I don't know what that worry is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean it's not important.
Yeah. That's good. That's good perspective. Really good perspective.
Carry on, but I don't think you was done with your check-in. Go ahead.
No, yeah, just my check-in. It's I appreciate Butta pausing us or slowing us down with his story about his high school buddy or friend because I think I know there's a lot of that going on, and I think like by myself personally, two of my teammates, um, expressed. Fortunately, we've created a safe space in our group where they've expressed that they have some stuff going on. You know what I mean? And it was great that they felt comfortable enough to express that because it at least gives people opportunity to connect, and I said to both of them, it's like, listen, I'm most likely not going to have the answer, but I'm always going to have the ear to listen, and to be here if you need anything, and whatever you need, I can help you with that. Within my power, I will. So it's more of that going on than a lot of us understand, during these times. Even today, Bree, my daughter is in Charlotte now, and she's looking for work and everything like that. And just today, she said somebody at the grocery store asked her to pay for their groceries. And it wasn't, when I say groceries, that's probably overemphasizing it. It was literally a can of tuna, some black beans, and like some crackers.
But it
You know,
doesn't. But it doesn't minimize the value.
right. But when you're absolutely right, and I wasn't trying to do that. I was just helping the listeners understand that because she doesn't have a job, right? So it's not like she's going out splurging on someone's monthly grocery order. But for her, she was like, Dad, when I saw what she was asking me for, she's like, regardless of what my situation is, I can afford that. And if that little bit can help her, then so be it, because it wasn't a lot to ask. But based on it not being a lot to ask, I knew she really needed it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really dope that she shared that with me. And like I said, there's a lot of people going through a lot of stuff. So just I'll wrap my check-in up. I'm good, man. Like, obviously on the heels of these conversations we just had, I have no complaints. Like in in terms of what is going on in my life. Like I'm extremely blessed. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to I have this week will be my second week of travel. Next week is my last week of travel. So I'll be traveling 3 weeks in a row, but then I'll be done for the year, which is great. I'll get some time to just cool out. Chief and I will be together tomorrow, speaking at the National Black Men in Leadership Summit in Detroit. Looking forward to that. But yeah, man, I'm my son's great, my daughter's great, my mom's good. She just moved down to Charlotte. Everybody's good, man. I got no complaints. I'm good. Chief.
love
You muted. You muted. You muted. You muted. You muted.
It's a bunch of stuff that's been going through my mind listening to you dudes, man. But I start with I'm good. Kids are happy and healthy. Boys just getting over a cold.
It's going
Um,
around.
talking to their mom tomorrow about Biddy. Biddy starts up a spoke with Berwin. Get him into Biddy. Let him do some hooping. Bubba started basketball on Monday. Yesterday, first day of
You
high.
coaching, right?
Yeah. First day of high school basketball. She enjoyed it. So that she like apprehensive about it, but she enjoyed it. So that was cool. Mom's is getting better. She had a rotator cuff surgery, and I think she psyched herself out by just watching videos of people who got it, and they all like, "Oh, this is the worst pain ever." And she like, "Man, this ain't shit. I'm fine." Like, so that's a blessing right there. My brother just went back to Atlanta. He came up for 3 weeks and stood by my mom's side and kind of helped her through all this stuff, even though she didn't really need much at all. But he came up to just be supportive, and that was super dope. So we got to kick it and whatnot. Outside of that, man, all is well. Nothing really new and exciting. I'm actually excited to get out to Detroit and share this experience with my guy and network with the fellas and do what we do. I think that's a pretty dope event for us. So I'm excited about that. And to the point about like extended friendships or close friends and communicating, a buddy of mine hit me up the other day, and it was a good friend of mine. We don't necessarily hang out all the time, but whenever we see us, always love, always dope. But he hit me up just in regards to some things that he was going through with somebody, one of our other friends, and kind of linked on me. Not linked. He basically asked my perspective on the situation, and it was weird because it's not like it's not a conversation we've had all the time. he doesn't necessarily seek out me for, questions or guidance or whatever. So it was kind of cool to have that happen. And I tell that story just because Butta opened up with the high school friend calling him, and you tapping in with our friend, and then your college teammates and whatnot. And it naturally, instinctively just made me, I had a video queued up. I deleted it, and I'll put another one in right now that I think we could have a sincere conversation about. I mean, this dude's he's talking. So I sent to the group chat, Bell, but we put it up here for the people to see it. And I better just give it your ear, man. And he dude's talking super fast. I need to pause, rewind, let me know. But I definitely think it's something that will resonate with us, and we get to have a pretty good conversation around. So give this video your attention. Let's definitely dissect it afterwards, bro.
Understand is that men aren't just lonely. Brotherhood has collapsed. Brotherhood, as you know, it has collapsed in on itself, and nobody told them. Not because men got weaker, not because women changed, not because feelings got soft. Brotherhood died because the system buried it and taught men to perform masculinity instead of experience it. Because men weren't supposed to live life solo. We know this. We know this. Men weren't supposed to do that. Men were supposed to have each other, though. Not in competition, not in silence, not in dominance, but in witness. In witness. Brotherhood used to mean you weren't grieving alone. You weren't scared alone. You weren't raising your kids alone. You weren't carrying the weight of being a man alone. Right? I'm just saying it. Men were supposed to grow with mirrors and not masks. And when those mirrors disappear, you didn't just lose your friends, you lost yourself. It's a fact, right? The collapse of brotherhood, just so you really get it, the collapse of brotherhood did not make men weak. I am not saying that. It did make them unmirrored. And an unmirrored man will disappear in plain sight. I promise. That's the real epidemic right there in your face. Because a man with no brotherhood has no emotional outlet, no identity formation, no accountability without shame, no place to confess, no place to collapse, no place to be seen. So he turns every struggle inward until it becomes numbness, performance, or rage. That's all he has left. Not because he's dangerous, but because he's unwitnessed. He's unwitnessed. Nobody spots him. And the system loves unwitnessed men. Because guess what unwitnessed men are? Easy to control. Easy to radicalize. Easy to exhaust. Easy to shame. Easy to distract. Easy to turn against women. And easy to turn against themselves. I'm telling you, they come with the whole package. Because a man without brotherhood will mistake isolation for identity and performance for strength. I'm going to just tell you again. A man without brotherhood will mistake isolation for identity and performance for strength. That's the trap right there, because patriarchy didn't fail men. It starved them and then rewarded them for having bones only. Right? Bones only. It taught men to distrust the only people who could have taught them how to be human. Each other. Right? I'm just being honest. So it replaced brotherhood with competition, hierarchy, silence, shame, the real man stands alone lie, and then handed women the job description of being every man's therapist, mirror, mother, and emotional system. It did. Right? It told them be everything because it required a man to be nothing. That's what it was. Not because women ever changed, though. I don't want you to get stuck on that. It's because men had no men to fall back on. Nobody had your back. And you know that. Nobody was there for you. So because of that, I want you to know that men are not lonely because they don't have women. Men are lonely because they don't have men. That's the saddest part of the whole story. They miss something they never had. They feel nostalgic for a bond that was stolen before they were born. And that ache, that hollowness, that quiet panic that forms under you, that is never weakness. I won't let you call yourself weak here. It's actually the ghost of brotherhood calling your name back home. So the collapse of brotherhood was never a man's failure. It wasn't, but it was the system strategy. It was the system strategy. And on it, and in its return, that's on us. Right? If we want brotherhood back, it really is going to be on us, because men don't need to be rescued. Men do need to be reunited. Men need to be reunited.
Brother was preaching.
Yeah, he was. The way I hear that, though, I hear it as something I say often. I don't miss my father, but I do miss being fathered. Like, I know, given the man that I've become, a lot of interesting missteps that I've made, and things that some habits that have become a part of my character. I am unabashedly clear that it was the absence and void of having an actual figurehead like a father be present enough to say, don't do that or do this, right? And my brothers did their best, given they didn't have present fathers. So I think about that kind of thing. I think about that kind of thing a lot with what he it's really my go-to. It's where I get my nurturing from my brothers. You know.
Bell, what are your thoughts on the video?
I agree. I agree with everything he said, and I like how he broke it down. I think the challenge, though, it's like cause and effect, right? I think the challenge is, all that's true. Let's just say it's all true. Then how do we restore it? Like, how does one without brotherhood, right? We're fortunate because we have brotherhood, but how does one who doesn't receive that? And if you know how to restore it or attempt to restore it, is the damage already been done? You 35, 36 years old who've been in isolation and confused in isolation for your identity, and there's been a void, and now that you've seen this and it's awakened something, it's like, if you've been isolated this whole time, like, where do you go? How do you restore that? And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The second thing that comes to my mind is my investment group that I have with the guys. We just planned a retreat for March, and what I told them, I said, listen, guys, we have 3 things that we're focusing on right now because there's a lot going on. I said, we're building back our bond, we're building back our brotherhood, and we're building back the bank account. Those are the 3 things that we're focusing on for 2026. And the brotherhood piece is because of everything he just said. It's like we played on a team together, right? For 4 or 5 years, 3 to 5 years, depending how long you were there. And we had that brotherhood because we needed each other every single day, right? Whether it be and Chief, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, right? Like, if it was to get through practice, if it was to win a game, if it's to fight when we out, right? Like, whatever it was, we needed each other, and we had that, and it was baked in. Like, it was baked into the culture. It was baked into the sport. Like, you had no choice, and there's 100 of us, right? So we're going to bond, right? Like, it's inevitable. But now when you're in the real world, right, and you have real life stuff going on, and if you did not carry any of those relationships over, like I said, like, how do you regain it? And I don't know if there's a specific answer, right? That's just where my mind goes. It's like, how do we help those who don't have that built-in system?
So to your point, man, definitely, absolutely thankful for brotherhood. Speaking of, I'd love to give a shout out to the Rams Den, my group chat from my cats in college. We all of us in the chat, just not except one because he was on vacation with his people. We all did a 72-hour cleanse, just water and water and black coffee for past 72 hours. Ended at 9 o'clock today, and it wasn't nearly as hard as it had been in the past when I have done it. Like, just checking in via the text, letting everybody know updates and whatnot. Like, I'm like, yo, this was a breeze. Like, it was really, really, like, simple to do. Being that we just had accountability partners who held the brotherhood, who just held each other, you know what I'm saying? Close in that regard.
Just water, huh?
Just water and coffee for 3
Were
days.
you able to sleep the first night?
Yeah.
I did a 24-hour just water fast, bro. I could not sleep.
So we started at 9 p.m. That's why it ended at 9 p.m. So we started at 9 p.m. So, like, you eat your food during the day and just go to bed. You know what I'm saying? And next night was fine. Like, it was, you know what I mean? It was
but
fine.
you still, the next, that's sort of when it would hit me. But anyway, that's good.
It was fine. But speaking of that, brotherhood was just like, I put in the chat, like, yo, this was actually really, really easy. We made a bunch of jokes about what we're gonna do when 9 o'clock hits, just keeping the party going in that regard. And it was just cool to, like, everybody expressing, their struggles. I'm like, yeah, niggas hungry. Like, it's food, anything smell good now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk through, anything smell good. Like, them high school hamburgers was like, damn, I'll crush one of them joints right now. Like, but when last time you had a high school chicken patty?
I don't know, but if I didn't eat in 72 hours,
right? That's what I'm saying. That chicken patty smelled so good today. And I'm like, that disgusting ass thing. But that was cool. But even my question to you guys, I guess, is, even with the brotherhood that we have, I specifically think of the moment, Bell, where two different things play in my mind. The moment where you called me out at the country club, or the message you sent me the text before the country club, and then the time when I pulled up to Boston when you was kind of going through it. And it's like, even with our dearest brotherhood being as tight as it is, we still have a tendency to kind of refrain from being ultimately vulnerable with one another, or being like, bro, I'm in a bad spot right now. And but until, because we know each other so well, I can go, yo, something ain't right, bro. Like, what's up with you? And then it comes out. And I wouldn't have known otherwise, because we just, we get used to going through the motions. So it's just like, even with, I would believe in my heart, you would be hard pressed to find a crew of brothers who are as close knit as we are and who share as much as we share, yet still we have that I don't know,
Machismo.
this machismo manhood thing where it's like, I could use my homies, but I'm gonna push through this.
And it's also what we've made up about man, right? Like when I think about when you all talk about like teams and stuff like that, how much I love being a defensive end, and oh, I couldn't wait to play. Never really played in high school, but played on local teams, and that was fun. But it wasn't no like there was no structure. It was just a bunch of young dudes playing, and I learned this one position that I played a lot in school, and then it became like, yo, this is what I know how to do. What I didn't learn is team.
Mm.
I didn't learn team because we didn't have like that. Also, we didn't have the figurehead of a coach that was like guiding us. I think to your point too, Bell, with you and Chief specifically, what I love watching when I sit back and watch y'all just engage our peers, I'm like, yo, this is fire. Just to see like I'm in my mind, I'd be like, yo, this needs to be on camera. The way you all love each other and talk about each other, and y'all run through the gamut. Y'all go from each other to the kids, from the kids to y'all parents, from y'all parents to work. Like there's a rhythm that occurs. But because you all know how to be on teams, you're often, what I've noticed, looking to see where you can be wanted or needed. You're often having the conversation with, you good, or you good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you can hear something that many of us be like, oh, okay, yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like I've never, like for me, Chief showed up to my mom's funeral in a time where the people were telling us no one can come in here. And I walked to the back of the church, and Chief is sitting in the back of the church. I was like, you don't even know what you did. Like, you have no earthly idea what you've done for this friendship and brotherhood for me. And I was already on your team. But like watching you all like be brothers, even in your frustration, love is always present. That's what I love more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. No matter how flustered y'all get, right? Chief takes the idea, something wrong, we'll figure it out. Bell is fighting against being a father and really like being a brother, right? He's like, you need to do this because this is the way this needs to go.
We
Stop
just had
acting
that
crazy,
conversation. We just
right?
had the same
And
conversation
so
yesterday.
y'all have that, and then you have Chief, who's like, Chief and Prentice are artists, right? So it's like, yeah, come on,
Mm-hmm.
throw it up in the air, if it fall, but they're still responsible men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happens, we sometimes compartmentalize certain gifts to certain areas of our lives, as opposed to being our whole selves everywhere. I think that would also support us. And to your point, with those brothers who can't get to it, if they were anything like me, they were often told, do it yourself,
Right.
or you got it. And I couldn't unlearn I got it. I couldn't take gifts from people. Still, I really still don't. I'm really not great at that, because I always feel like I owe you something, but that's how I was raised. I was raised in a house where some of the love was transactional.
So, fellas, there was 3 quotes that I wrote down that he was talking about, and I got some statistics that I looked up that I want to share with y'all. But before I do the statistics, I'm gonna just dive into these quotes and then get into like what the interweb says. But he said, "We mistake isolation for identity and performance for strength." How does that resonate with y'all?
You're taught that. You're taught that as a child. If I gave you a football and you and Bill were outside, it's your team against Bill's team. If I gave Bill a baseball and a bat, it's your team against his team. We learned that as kids, as little boys. Over time, it becomes provisional. So before we say I'm sorry, in many cases, especially to our women, we'll provide food, we'll give a gift, or we'll give money. Then we'll say I'm sorry, and we may not say I'm sorry. We may say something like, "What you want to eat? You still want to go to the store? Like we want to, you good? Like we won't bring ourselves to that." But over time, that gameplay outside has become provisional. If you ever like, if you're talking to some of the men in the family, you go, "You don't love me." The first thing they're gonna say is, "Look at this house. Did you eat today?" There's a love language that sometimes society doesn't want to learn from men. But you also got to learn our love language as much as you want us to learn yours. But we were taught that. We were taught to provide. That's all. That's what we know. That's all of us. That socialization did not skip anybody on this call. We're
No.
all socialized to provide.
He says men don't need to be rescued; they need to be reunited.
Yeah, I think I'll speak for myself. I struggle with the word rescue. Period. Like I don't need to be rescued from shit, right? that's where my mind goes. But it's my executive coach, shout out to Toby. He had said something to me one day. He said, help doesn't mean rescue. Because I would associate help with rescue. So if I'm asking for help, that means you got to come fix it for me because I can't do it. And he's like, that's not what that means, right? Like it means you need clarity, maybe, right? You may need another perspective. Doesn't mean you need to be rescued. But when in my mind, that's what it was, and I have an aversion to that word rescue, and I don't know why, but it's just like, and I think to your original question, Chief, that's probably sometimes where, like, I'll speak for myself. I won't get as vulnerable when I'm really in need because it's like, no, I don't need somebody to rescue me. Like I'll save myself. And I think a part of that too, and again, and I'm going to be talking out of both sides of my mouth because I always tell people I do a really good job of checking in, like especially with my college teammates, because there's so many things that former athletes deal with that from an identity standpoint that I know all too well. So I make sure I always keep in contact. But my point is, I always tell them, if you're going through something, holla at me. I'm never going to look at it as a burden. But meanwhile, if I'm going through something, I potentially may look at my situation as a burden. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just thug it out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want people to feel like they need to rescue me.
And so hearing that, I think just due to my sensitivity and the nature of our friendship, like I almost take that personal.
Yeah, that's ego.
Like it's not ego, man. Like I want to be there. No, it's not. I want to be there to support my friend, and I would hope that he would lean on me.
So wait a minute. So we're clear that Bell can't tell you what that is for you. Can you name what it is?
I want to be there. If I had to put a word on it, I want to be there to support my friend. I want him to lean on his friends.
That's the word that you're not saying. What else?
Love, care.
Yeah, but see how you had it like, duh, it's love. But sometimes the not saying it or not naming it is also the problem. Like sometimes you got to hear "I love you," which is why I'm having this conversation, as opposed to "I know you get it." And sometimes I think as men we have an aversion to that word because it comes with so much weight depending on who's saying it. I would like to offer a reframe. I believe help is for the helpless. And I believe support is for those of us who have tools, but really need to access our tools differently. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for support. I don't think anyone needs help. We don't need help. We definitely need support.
That's what I said, support. So my question is, why does my love for you and wanting to support you come across as ego? When have I ever been like, yeah, I did this for Bell?
No, not ego that way. I'm saying you getting mad that I'm not reaching out. That's what I'm calling ego.
No,
Because
I want to be able to support my friends.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is you can't get mad at me for going through it the best way I know how to go through it. Like for you, it's like the best way for you to go through it is to lean on me. But that's not how I view it. So you can't get mad at me for wanting to work through it my way.
I
You know
want
what I'm
you to
saying?
hear where your conversation is versus where it can be. Right? So the conversation right now is about whether or not somebody has ego when it comes to concern for you.
Mm-hmm.
When really it's the somebody has support that just want to offer it to you. But inside of that conversation, there's also the conversation of he gonna try to do it by himself. You didn't just meet Bill. He gonna try to do it by himself. When he ready to talk, I'll be available.
Right.
Because once you all are learning each other's language, I can see how when you've lost enough people like you all have to death, to different things and stuff like that, any moment of discomfort for somebody who you feel like would almost give their life for you, it can feel like a slight because I love you so much. I don't want you in any discomfort.
But there have been moments, Butta, and probably on both of our parts, for sure. But there have been moments where, like, I just got a new pack of writing pencils, and Bell need a writing pencil, and will not ask me, nigga. I got 13 of them. I can give you one, and he wouldn't say a word about him needing a writing pencil until he found one 7 months later. And then I find out he needed a writing pencil 7 months ago.
And how do you
why
feel?
didn't you just ask me, bro?
I feel like that's just one situation. Like I don't feel like that's a reoccurring
Bill,
thing.
Bill, that is not one. You're in this friendship, in this friend group, you're the elder. You're the old soul in the group, and you're constantly, for you, it's like corralling cats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what you don't understand is that if you look at them closely, they're lions. And so
True.
what begins to happen, you're like, wait, hold up. Like, because you were watching a Disney movie trying to corral cats. You got lions with you that are clear that they're kings. But for you, it's like, I need for y'all to tighten up. It's all the stuff that you said that you wouldn't say when you got older and now you're saying. Right? And because you love the way you love for you is watching people win.
Yes,
The
agreed.
people that you love, you want to see them win fully.
And
However, you got to give them an opportunity to get it the way they need it. But also, I want you to hear what you also mean to Chief. Like, I want
yeah.
you to hear that as a real conversation, Bill. Like, not a means to an end around the ego, not a means to an end around why you don't ask for support. I love you so much. I don't want to see you hurting.
This is a very good conversation because there is a distinct parallel that I may not have been able to put together until this moment. So how you feel, Chief, when you feel like I'm going through something or I need something and I don't reach out is exactly how I feel when you don't call me for shit you know I can help you with. Like and you just won't do it. So the other day we had a conversation. You were just talking about it, buddy. You referenced not knowing a conversation we had yesterday or the day before with the ongoing challenge with him is renovating his house. And I get infuriated because of my work in that space. He knows what I've done, right, in that space, like in terms of property, flipping houses, things like that. And he won't ask me anything. He'll just go out and do it on his own. And as of late, like the last 3 years, it's never worked out how he said it was going to work out. And when I found out about it, I advised him against it, and he still did it. And it's like that infuriates me because it's like, bro, if you just listen, you will win. Like you will win if you just listen. And not until this moment that I understand. I'll pause and say, I can now say today that I understand how you feel when I don't ask and I can understand why it's not ego. So I'll say that, because it's definitely not ego with me. It's because I want you to win. You know what I'm saying? And you just refuse to win because, in my opinion, your decision is because you want to show me you can do it on your own. When it's like, I am the path of least resistance. I am the path of least resistance. I already figured it out. Like, I've already made the mistakes that you're inevitably about to make if you try to do it on your own, as did I when I did it on my own. But because I've done it on my own so many times, I now know how to circumvent some of those losses and those challenges. But you just refuse to listen. Like, even as of 2 days ago.
So, Chief, what are you hearing Bell say?
Verbatim.
Thank you, Bell. Yes.
Verbatim what he said, and I'm not in, and he's relatively accurate in what he says. I think a lot of it has to do with perhaps feeling judged because of my not listening now, and I don't want to experience that.
Okay, I hear that part, but what is that? But hearing from what he just shared and the way he's expressed it, what else do you hear?
In understanding, we carry the same sentiments from two different regards, so we can meet in the middle somewhere now.
And I feel like too, what you all have just tapped into, your brotherhood has its own language.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your love language with each other is ignore first, I'll tell you later I fucked up. Like, it's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah,
it's
on
like,
both
no,
sides.
I'm doing myself. I'm gonna figure out I did it wrong. It was wrong. Anyway, da 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 da. Okay, you were right. Shut up. And so da da da. And then y'all move on to the other thing. However,
It's
you
definitely how it's
have this,
happened several times.
huh?
It's definitely happened like that several times.
And so
I think whatever, it's over with. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, that
because it's not the relationship is more important than the nuance of what the discussion was.
Right.
And so that's something that you all are both really clear about. But then this sounds like an invitation to do things differently, right? In any relationship, you got to be willing to be with change, right? And so I think that with you all, it's about coming to the realization that y'all should do like a brotherhood day where y'all just put stuff on the table. Like, y'all pick a day as brothers and go, this is what I haven't been sharing, this is what I'm up to. It is just brotherhood day. No, like, no camera, no me, no nobody else. Just you two brothers talking about, okay, you know what? You know, Tuesday, like Baron and I have a no coaching Tuesday. We don't coach each other on Tuesday. Say what you got to say, get it off your chest, right? If we have an upset with each other, no more than 24 hours. You got 24 hours to sleep on it, then we got to come back and discuss it, regardless of what it is. And that's worked in our friendship. Now, it sounds like to me with you all, I want you all to get better at listening, which lets me know that in some spaces you all feel ignored, which is why you all talk to each other a certain way, because you're constantly trying to get stuff out. But then also there's a level of trust where I was vulnerable with you, and then you go, and I'm gonna be vulnerable tomorrow, but you don't say that. You just kind of like poo-poo whatever that thing is, and then you all move on. As brothers, especially in this time, like, giving, like, you have the loss of a brother, Chief. You all have Bell, you have family members that have passed, stuff like that. And we're in this season. I think this is a beautiful time for change and the invitation as brothers, right? Because I think the truth is none of us need rescue, but we do need to reconnect. And maybe there's a reintroduction of this brotherhood to each other, right? My request is that when you have a need, come to me first, is what you all are both unwilling to say. When you have a need, come to me first. Now, I'm taking a chance on this because I know your ass gonna do it your way. You probably ain't gonna listen, but call me first, and I'm gonna do what I can. Now, here's the other thing: we also have to respect that, given that some of us, though we figured out family, have been on our own for a very long time. When you're also the person made to be the patriarch of a family early, then the responsibility, you're always on your back burner. And so the request is to get off the back burner and get present in your own life, as present as you are in other people's lives. Right? Like Bill mentioned, like the investment group, like every Black man on the planet has that. Those are the kind of conversations we need to be having. That you have the audacity to renovate your home when people are figuring out apartments with making the money that they're making. You all are winning. And your baseline argument is, I love you. That's the argument.
Mm-hmm.
But I love you. No, you understand. I love you, my brother. I love you. And it's this constant like, well, that just sounds like love to me. That sounds like somebody's being a knucklehead. You love them. You see they're about to crash and burn. I love them because renovation can't happen because I'm giving everybody else money, as opposed to giving out more no's. Because people want to be at the renovation once it's done. Because we also know this is somebody that don't know how to tell people no. So one of those bedrooms will be for somebody at some point.
At some point.
Right? Because that's the way he shows love, by having everybody around. It's the same way you do, right? You get your space because you have a job where you can get space and then come back. If you were there every day, we would be having a very different
Same conversation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think for you all, it's about recognizing that as brothers, the brotherhood doesn't change, but the love does get deeper. And I think you all are trying to do an old version of your friendship, and you have to like invite yourselves into this new version of brotherhood, where there's connection and authenticity and like absolute vulnerability.
I love it, Butta. I love everything you said, and I specifically love the I forgot the title already, but I understand the premise when we just get together and essentially dump out things that we haven't shared, right? Because I think there's a level of vulnerability there, and there's a potential level up, right? Because there's things that we have going on. Like in my company, we always talk like we're a big company, and we always say that this hand doesn't speak to this hand, even though together they're trying to get the same thing done together, but separately. It's like if they just came together, it would get done much more efficiently. And I think I know for a fact in our friend group, there's a lot of things that we're all trying to get accomplished at the same time that are the same thing, maybe in a different space or a different timeline, but at its core, it's the same thing. But we don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We just see it when it happens. You know, like there's so many. So my point is, if we pause for a second and talk about the things that are challenging for us right now, the things that are inspiring us right now, right? Like if we can just get that out, who knows what can come from it? You know what I mean? Because I'm positive that Chief and I are probably dealing with some of the same things. It's just unspoken, and maybe even just speaking about it can help usher one of us through it, right? Yeah. And just putting it on the table. So no, I'm with that. I'm with that.
All right, so I wanted to.
Hey, you ain't got nothing to say.
No, I'm hearing everything you said, and
about
I agree.
Everything he just said. You about to move on. You ain't got no.
But I responded to what he was saying, and I'm hearing everything you're saying, and I'm all for it, bro. Like we converse all the time, and we make it specific, like you said, the brotherhood.
It's like that though. Like he just mentioned.
I'm with it.
Okay, but you didn't say that though.
Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna shut up. Relationship is housed in communication. Relationship is housed in communication. I don't care if it's eros. I don't care if it's philios. Agape relationship is housed in communication. It sounded like I love you, and the response back was okay.
That's definitely not what I intended to do, and I apologize for that because wasn't my intent at all.
I think we didn't give you space to process. I also see you processing what's being said.
That's fair.
Yeah, I can see you processing, and we didn't give you space to process. And the reason why I asked you what you heard is because in knowing you, at least feel like I'm knowing you in a particular way, I knew you were going to move on, and I didn't want you to move on without sharing how you feel, but I also recognize, Bell, in y'all relationship, in y'all brotherhood, Chief has a way of going, I did something wrong, I'm just gonna listen. And so his knee-jerk response is to listen first without fully reacting, even if he feel a way about it, and get quiet. So what you just saw was his response, almost his triggered response to when you like speak a certain way to him.
No, listen.
He gets real quiet, and then he just kind of look.
I knew exactly what was about to happen. And I just want to make sure I stopped him because, as we talked about, we speak about all the time. It's like, remember, our definition of vulnerability can be different.
Yes.
Right. So, me responding to Butta is a level of vulnerability for me, right? In the manner in which I responded.
Yeah.
And so now I just, as my old boss would say, I opened up the kimono, and then you just like, all right, so moving on. It's like, damn, nigga, you ain't hear nothing I just said. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's again, we spoke about this on our communication episode. When it comes to you and I, this is typically how it goes. I'll say some stuff, and then you get quiet, and then in your processing, I'm not saying you're not. Please hear me. I'm not saying you're ignoring or not understanding, but you're not giving me what I need in that moment to feel good about what was just said. You know what I mean?
Heard you. Is there? So my response. No, I'm saying. So I heard what you said. So my response after you called me out on it, saying I heard everything you said. I'm all for the brotherhood conversation.
You didn't say that until I stopped you.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes. If that would have been your next response versus moving on or whatever you said, like, yes, that would have been better.
And we can also say, though this is not your responsibility to manage, I think what also may be missing is energy. There's a lighthearted, like let's be honest, we're gonna be honest. Sometimes it's also the lightheartedness in which it was shared. It may have occurred that you were like, you may have been stoic in your response, but completely sincere and vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's fair.
And I think that it kind of like, it fell flat. And it was like, oh, okay. But it also lets me know that what I hear very clearly is the way you have so much respect for Bell, right? In the way in which you respect yourself. And I feel like you're constantly trying to make sure that you don't do anything to bulldoze, mess up, or intrude on this friendship or this brotherhood because of how much you love him.
Yeah, but we don't typically have those type of circumstances between us anyway. I can't tell you in 35 years there hasn't been many rifts.
But we've had a lot of these moments though.
Yeah, I think that's the point I'm making. I'm not talking about necessarily rifts.
Right.
I'm talking about moments where there may have been disagreement and you've been able to like manage yourself a certain way to respond. Let me say this, you're not doing it wrong. I'm just highlighting for you like how it might have occurred. As somebody who's watching.
No, looking back right now in this particular conversation, I see it 100%.
Yeah, and I think the way you just taught me something. That's the way you process. When you're like when you're in a thought that you're like, let me run this around for a little bit, we have to give you a moment to go, okay, you need a beat. Because you need a moment to process. You've done it before, but I missed it. I didn't catch it until right now.
That's fair. And I do think that's how, and that's how I've been able to, like, I guess, be at ease, take in the information, swirl it around in my head, and then touch on it.
And that's fair. Like, there's nothing wrong with how you, there's nothing wrong with how you handled it. It's just, like I said, how it can be received. So you don't have to change anything necessarily. It's just, I guess for me, what would help.
No, but I think something as simple as that in regards to
don't miss this part. Don't miss this part. This is a very important part. Say it just the way you just said it.
Yeah. So something for me that could help is like, I heard you. I got to process this.
Exactly what I was about to say.
I'm gonna get back with you. Like I don't want you to think that what you said fell on deaf ears, but let me get back with you because, like, more vulnerability. If we're going back and forth, and from my stance, if we're going back and forth, I feel like we're getting something accomplished. No matter what the tone is, no matter what, if I'm speaking my mind, you're speaking your mind, I feel like we're getting somewhere. But when I say something and you say nothing, it's just like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I'm saying? And then with the lack of information, people will create their own narratives. So when you say nothing, I'm like, oh, this motherfucker don't care. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why am I wasting my breath? And then to what happened to us maybe about a year ago, it's like, I'm not giving you any more advice. You know what I'm saying? Because of the response I would get when I give it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I'm just not gonna say nothing because clearly you're not listening and you don't whatever I said, right? With the lack of information. So again, just perspective is all.
That's fair. And I think that what I was going to say, similar to your point, was that like outside of people who, like, it may be more understood to you guys because you understand how I operate. That, you know, I'm just processing and then take a minute to have to speak my piece on it. But to people I don't know, it would be very beneficial to be like, yo, I mean, now even with you guys now, like, yo, just give me a minute. I heard you, but let me process this for a minute, and I'll get back to you. But I didn't, and in that particular moment right there, that's something I definitely could have said. Absolutely.
Well, you didn't have access to it until now.
Right.
Right. So
Right. You didn't have language until right now. So you couldn't have gone back, but moving forward, right? Because we can't penalize you for what you didn't know.
but I've had this same conversation, and this is the thing. So it takes me back to a time like in when I was completing my degree, and I remember telling my professor like, "Yo, like I'm just not good at school. Like it's just not something I do." And she's giving me the same conversation that I would give my students. The exact same thing, saying, you know, it's okay, blah blah blah. Like you got this. You know, you're great at it. Blah blah. Take your time. And all this, everything that I would say to my students, she said to me, and I sat there like, damn, like you not taking heed to your own advice. So the words of wisdom you would give someone else, because I would tell someone the exact same thing. Like if you can't speak right now, tell me that so that I know, and haven't applied that to myself. And I've done that in various situations, but I don't know. Maybe this was a little more delicate for me. That I don't know.
It's we're close. You know what I'm saying? Like we're close. So the leverage, right? You're going to give me less grace because of how close I am. I'm going to give you less grace because of how close we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this was a stranger, I wouldn't have said that most likely because I don't know how they communicate, but I just happen to know this is a pattern with you. So I'm like, let me speak up so he understands why I get so frustrated because maybe I didn't articulate it in the past. Maybe the way I articulated I was upset was by my reaction thereafter, which is ignoring you when you asked for specific things that we just spoke about that seemingly fell on deaf ears. You see what I'm saying? So versus having this level of communication. So
I also feel like now looking back at that thing, I don't think that it may be that you did say that. And when you say like, well, fuck it, I'm not giving you no more advice, maybe subconsciously, you know what? Tuck it away. Don't ask me. You said he ain't giving it to you no more. I'd look at it like that, but
no, I mean it's cause and effect again,
for sure.
right? It's like how many times can you expect me to say the same thing over and over again to you for your benefit, proven as a proven resource, and you to do the opposite, literally the opposite, not a piece
You're
of
not,
it, the
and you're
opposite.
not crazy, Mike. Like you heard, even if he did say it, you felt it.
Right.
Even if he didn't say it, it was understood. That's why, like, you know how people say hello to you, and you'd be like, you could have kept that because you know underneath it was some trash. You trying to be nice because maybe your mama raised you differently than how you acted. After so much of like, hey, 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 I want to see it, I want to see it. There may come a time when you're like, ugh, but I think for both of you all, my challenge, I got a challenge for you all. I got a challenge for the rest of the year. Every time y'all are with each other, at some point before the evening, before y'all leave, somebody got to say, I love you.
You do it all the time.
I know you do it all the time, but this time I want you to listen. Because y'all throw it at each other, but y'all don't listen.
That's fair.
Y'all are listening. Like I'm listening to two brothers say to each other in the most eloquent ways, I love you. I don't give a damn about none of that. I love you. What do we have to do to have you win? And that's from both of y'all. That's not one-sided. You all have a very clear conversation around love. You have a very clear conversation around brotherhood, and more importantly, you have a very clear conversation around team. What does it look like to be on somebody's team? Right? Like I know I can be frustrating for people because for a long time I wasn't on my own team when other people were trying to get on my team. And so I had to find, oh wait, who am I? What am I doing? Because I spent so much of my life in everybody else's dream, my dream voice got really small. And so I did what you're supposed to do when you're a man. I isolated, I figure it out. And one day became a bunch of years of losing friendships, lost contacts, stuff like that, because I closed off. Because I assumed that people understood where I was coming from, and I thought I was being vulnerable, but what I was really doing was just giving enough information for you to leave me alone. And so when you're I don't have children, I don't have a significant other, I have a dope family, but I'm not around them. I'm in New York by myself. And so when I reach for you all, I'm reaching for you, right? And I also don't feel lonely. That's the other thing too. There was a time when I felt like deeply lonely. I like the quiet. I like not having to check in with somebody the whole nine. Right? Stop chasing relationships. Like I'm good. If it happened, it happened. If it don't, I'm loved like crazy. I got crazy love around me. So like I approach it from that, but listening to you, I understand even with me, how being in relationship and friendship with me can be challenging for people. Because once you tell me you're done with me, then you're done. I don't do to come back and let's talk about it. You were done, so let's be done. Right? But I also was raised by a mama who was like, you got to do it yourself. Ain't nobody going to be around to do it with you. And I took that into relationships that I lost because people wanted to support me and I didn't know how to do it. I had a good friend. He said, pick a bill on your credit report and I'm going to pay it off. I went to the shoe store and got some red and white Pumas. I'll never forget it because I didn't know that kind of love. I didn't know that kind of friendship. I was like, nah, I don't know what to do. Right. But now today I understand it from the lens of, oh, okay, cool. I made some big mistakes. There's a young brother right now. His name is Jeff. He's 35. I'll be 55 in January. I'm in a commitment to not have him make any of my mistakes. Dope human being, talented as hell. Walking down the street, somebody asked him to do an interview. He ends up on BET.
Wow.
At a BET event. And so for me, I'm like, dude, that was my life. Here's where I messed up. Do not make this mistake. Don't stop. Do it tired, do it angry, do it hurt, do it pissed off, but don't stop. And I just believe that I believe that Jeff is a force of nature. Some people think they know him, but they don't know what's coming. But I'm this way with him. I'm completely transparent and vulnerable. You know, even down to like the ladies that he loving on, like, dude, respect these women. Respect them, because the one that you're going to end up with is going to have to support you through this. And if you with a woman with only her hand out, she can't help you with a hand up. It ain't going to happen. You got to really be with a woman that's like, I see your dream. Why are you laying down? Get up. Right? You want to be inspired by the person you with. They have you so inspired, you start hustling for them. Like, let me get this work. Let me get this done. And I think in your friendship, with you two especially, y'all have something magical that most brothers would stay at with their real brothers. Right? But because you all are real brothers, people don't get that. And the reason why I call you all real brothers, our moms and dad aren't related. Unless it's cultural, but they often are not related. They decide to be family before we even hit the planet. So if you all choose to be brothers, that's just what it is.
Right.
So in your brotherhood, negotiate, figure it out, and then make it happen. That's for all of us, myself included.
For sure. Respect. Absolutely. So we're running up on time. Well, not time. We got a time limit, but we normally like to keep it around an hour and some change. So before we wrap up, fellas, I wanted to give you some of the statistics I read about and just kind of see what your thoughts are on it. If you can just nod and smile and we keep it pushing. But it says that men in the U.S. typically have an average of 5 general friends, 3 close friends, and 2 best friends, highlighting the dynamics of male friendships and their emotional significance. And it said we categorize their friends based on closeness and interaction levels. It says men invest an average of 4 hours a week maintaining friendships via texting, phone calls, direct messaging, and in-person hangouts. It says 50% of men feel unable to confide in their friends about their problems, and a third of them have no close friends at all. And it's concerning given that men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women.
Yeah. Or commit a crime based upon anger.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because we don't always have language. I can believe that.
Yeah, that I definitely I believe it.
That's right.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is the amount of pressure that men put on themselves.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like there's a lot of men, there's an assumed pressure that nobody's applying, right? But we apply it to ourselves more often than not. For whatever reason that, through childhood, through whatever that makes it make sense for us. But we definitely put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And I think because of that, sometimes it's kind of silly, but it's real to us. But if you tell it to somebody else, it's like, yo, dude, like you just created that. Like that, nobody's asking you to do that. Nobody needs you to do that. But again, we oftentimes do it to ourselves,
But I think even in the creation of it, there's a part of society that has an expectation. They're like, you should have done, or why didn't you do?
Well, in my opinion, buddy, that's a baseline, right?
Yeah.
Like that, like that's a baseline. And then what we do on top of that. So yes, there is automatically a societal expectation of men. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and what we're going to do is we're going to double down, right? Like we're going to make this even more challenging for us. And hey, for some of us, that's how we get motivated. That's how we achieve. But
True.
at even in achieving, right? It's like the stars aren't always going to align. There's going to be times, and I'm not saying this to you all like you don't know what I'm talking about. We've all had moments where it was dark. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dark. And some of that is societal pressure. Some of that is, personal pressure. Some of that is just management, right? Of our own emotions, our, the people we care about's emotions, like, and what are we taking on, right? Are we putting our mask on first? Like all these things. But again, that's still pressure, right? Like those people aren't necessarily our responsibility, but we've made them our responsibility. And because we've made them our responsibility, they now feel like it's a codependent relationship. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, it doesn't have to be like that, And unfortunately, a lot of times when we hit that tipping point and unfortunately we can't take care of ourselves, like something just happens. And then now all those people will fend for themselves. Like all those people will get it figured out, right? Because you can't worry about them if you can't even take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So listen, man, that's why boundaries, now I'm with this, boundaries are so important for especially
how do you know that you've broached a boundary?
Well, I didn't know. So they didn't exist in my world. You know what I'm saying? They didn't exist. Lorraine helped me with that. And it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. So I was unaware of what healthy boundaries look like. I was of the mind that if you can do it for somebody, you do it. Right? Simple as that. Because maybe they can't do it for themselves, or maybe you're a little bit more fortunate. Whatever the reason, if it can be done and you have the means to do it, you do it.
Often did you see your mom and dad do that?
Often.
Yeah.
Like I talk about all the time. It's like me and my mom was talking about in Charlotte. Literally, we had a 2-bedroom apartment. It was me, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad. My mom and my dad slept in the living room. Me and my brother shared a room, my sister shared a room, and we still had people living with us. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's and then on top of that, when those people who didn't have anything help those in need, and now you're in a position to help them, why wouldn't you? You know, but there comes a point where you have to protect your space and protect your peace, you know, and you doing something all the time for someone potentially can stunt what you can do for the people that you are responsible for.
And it stunts them.
And it most definitely stunts them.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Most definitely.
But you
So,
just talked about your daughter. What you just described is what your daughter does.
mhm.
Looking for a job, get in a situation in a grocery store, pays for somebody else's groceries.
Yeah.
Right? Like you all have that in trend. That's a part of who you all are.
Right.
And that's what makes it really beautiful. But I want you to be clear, just like I had to be clear. Number one, remove the need to be needed.
Mm-hmm.
Remove that need. And the other one is don't confuse capacity and responsibility. Just because you have capacity don't mean it's your responsibility.
That's bars. Yeah. Yeah.
Like confuse the two, and we do it all the time.
So removing the need to be needed, I think I got rid of that probably about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. Because that's a big one. Like that's a big one. And I said, all credit to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like she has ironclad boundaries, boy. Like they are up, and you can, if you need her, you can call her. You know what I'm saying? And if you need her, but we joke. I forgot who it was. Our other boy, he had a tournament, and he was flying out of Boston. He's like, Bell, I'm gonna stay at your house if that's cool. I was like, yeah, for sure. He's like, but I need you to take me to the airport. I'm like, bro, I don't take nobody to the airport. Like that is not part of my ministry. Like I don't take nobody to the airport. Like call an Uber. I'll pay for your Uber, but I'm not taking you to the airport. Like that's just not. Again, I have the capacity, but that's not my responsibility. Like I am not doing that. Like, and that's a simple but a clear boundary. The only people that gets picked up from the airport is my mom, my dad. That's it. Like, and Brianna, but she knows how it works. She'll Uber. Like, so, but anyway.
I think that's huge. I would offer this. Do you work out?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to engage in order to make sure like strength exercises are like solid? What do you have to engage on your body?
Muscles.
Well, yeah, but how do you engage them? You have to engage the center of yourself. We call that what?
The core.
So I would invite you, when you get a chance, write down at least 10 core values for yourself. And that's where you can begin to build out your boundaries. One of my boundaries is integrity. The moment I'm out of integrity, then I know I'm being inauthentic.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm being that, it's a no-go. And we confuse boundaries with tantrums. You throw a tantrum. Oh, you ain't gonna never treat me like that again. Nobody is. That's a tantrum. It's gonna be
Oh
temporary.
no, yeah.
And your
I agree.
boundaries are for you and for the people you love. They support them in loving you.
Yeah.
So as much as you can create those boundaries and share them with people, dude, you're giving us a gift. You're giving us a gift. Like one thing you've taught us is that you need space to be vulnerable and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
That's real for you, but you need space in that. Chief needs a moment to process, right? Don't come at me after this part. Whether I say it or not, please understand I need a moment from you. You said something that's important enough for me to reflect on. And then the boundary is, you good? I'm good. All
Right.
right, cool. And then that way there's no sting to you. And then there don't has to be a sting from you. Oh, you got me, now I'm gonna get you back. Because you all are also competitors. So your brain is gonna go to one up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's just natural. That's in your muscle memory. Go ahead, Chief.
I'm just taking some notes, bro. Just taking some notes, just for personal growth and just seeing. I got a lot of. That's a whole nother conversation. Write those notes down and we pick those up on another episode. But yeah, man. I mean, just every episode is growth for me. Every episode for us, we find something that kind of resonates within us, and we apply it to how we move on, how we move going forward. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the podcast, being able to have genuine, vulnerable conversations with your people and use that information to help you become a better person. And I think if we can do that amongst each other and someone listening picks up on those gems, and we're doing the right thing, man.
True.
We're doing the right thing. We can go ahead and do what we do at the end of every episode. Bellhead, you wanna we can do that afterwards. But Butta, I'll let you start with the final thoughts, man. Tell us what you thought of the episode. What's your takeaways?
My takeaways tonight especially, love needs permission to be received. It doesn't need permission to do, right? It doesn't need permission to be. But we allow love in and surrender to it, we then can hear it differently. Also, brotherhood is also work, like any other relationship, and you have to be willing to be a brother and to work inside of that way. And when I think of hood, I don't only think of the neighborhood, but I think hood is cover, right? So I'm saying I'm your brother and I'm gonna cover you in this brotherhood. So I think I'm absolutely leaving with a renewed sense of brotherhood, but also looking at how have I been showing up as a brother. As I've gotten older, I understand myself to be an elder. I take pride in that. But where can I improve as a brother? Is what I'm leaving with. Where is it that I get to be a bold and courageous space for another brother who may need support? Those are my final thoughts.
That's what's up. Bellhead, give me your final thoughts, B.
I think the word that's coming to my mind right now is disruption for some reason. And I think like for us, we've been going at it in the manner in which we go at it on certain topics, or certain subjects, and not much has really changed. Like there's going to be, I'm going to specifically around 2 or 3 topics. It's like I'm going to have my stance, you're going to have your stance, and it's a stalemate, or it's I hear you, we move on, we laugh, and until the next time it comes back up. And I think today was the most clarity I got on which I told Butta last time we recorded. I'm like, we need a third party to mediate some of these conversations. And I think for the first time I saw that we both want the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We go about it 2 different ways, but we both want the same thing. And my frustration shows up and how your frustration shows up are 2 different ways, but it's the same. And I never looked at it as the same. It was always he needed to get out of his own way. Like but now I see it's like, no, we're saying the same thing, just saying it differently. And unfortunately, the way we've been saying it has not been able to be received in the manner in which we would like it to be. So my final thought is, don't be afraid to disrupt the norm, to disrupt the pattern, to disrupt the trajectory if necessary, because sometimes disruption is good, because we don't know what we don't know. And if we don't allow somebody to come in and throw a monkey wrench in it or provide perspective and give us ourselves a second to take it in and be like, okay, let me try that on. Right. So disruption, like, don't be afraid to disrupt your process, someone else's process, if it's for the good. That's my final thought.
Well said. Well said, and I feel your points. For me, there's a couple things that I took from it, and before I even get into that, I want to say to all the people out there who are dealing with, the fourth quarter stresses, the seasonal depressions, being the holidays and daylight savings. Is dark at 4 o'clock right now, so I know that can add to people's, feelings and whatnot. Like, you are not alone, and there's someone in your corner, someone who's willing to assist you getting through this stuff, even if it's a hotline. There's someone somewhere, and if you got to, reach out to 211 or whomever the case may be, do so, because the world needs you. Period. And even when you're struggling, and I got one of our supporters emailed me today and was talking about how her son feels like God got a vendetta with him. And he's like, why is it always me? Why God don't mess with me? I'm like, nah, I don't want people ever feeling and believing that, we all go through our trials and tribulations, but there's a team of people who are willing to help. And if we're in a brotherhood, it's people in general. It might be a sisterhood for you. We don't know, but there's somebody there willing to support you. And I think my biggest takeaway from this is advice I've been giving people, but have yet to use it. In moments, we should communicate that we can't communicate, or we need a minute. And that can save a lot of confusion and assumptions. I've been personally, a lot of my quote unquote growth has come from, if you don't want to argue, don't say nothing at all. If you can't articulate yourself in that moment, don't say nothing at all. Rather than being like, I need a minute. And I'm left to sit with the question, would you rather have said something and regret it, or have not said something and regret it? And that's one of those things I got to sit with often. So if you can't communicate that, so at least the people in your circle know. So that's my final thought.
Powerful. I would also offer, if you need support based upon what Chief said, you can also dial 988. 988 is opportunity to speak to someone if you're having suicidal ideation, if you're sad, just need support. 988 is a great resource to just reach out to someone.
For sure.
You started, so I thought you were going to finish it. No. So we created this platform 5 years ago to create a safe space for Black men to openly engage in conversation surrounding their mental health. So again, like I say every week, we do that by creating a platform while being the messenger as well, right? So we do our best to voice and openly discuss the things that we have challenges with, to prevent further challenges in the future by not expressing it, by not addressing it. So we invite you all to do the same, whether it's reaching out to us, calling the number that Butta just mentioned and referenced. We are here to shine a brighter light on mental health. Our voice line is 860-410-6160. If you want to reach out to us, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll get back to you at our earliest convenience, because we all go through it, guys. Like, we know we're not alone, which is why we have this platform. So we encourage you all to reach out.
Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see," man. And it took us a while to get to this space, but we're here, and just trying to encourage you all to do the same, man. Tap into your crew, tap into your own your inner self, your mirror, your vulnerabilities, and just heal little by little, day by day. And we can assure you, those of you who are listening to it right now, don't remember who said the quote, but you have survived 100% of your most difficult challenges. So you are a survivor and a winner. 100%. There's no 99.9. 100. If you're listening to this right now, you have survived 100% of your most difficult challenges, and you can survive the next one that comes across your way. Period. Do us a favor, y'all. Email us if you got any concerns. allblackmanlytherapy@gmail.com. Go holler at my man Butta. Check out his page. Get you some fashion tips. But per usual, as we always say, hug a black man today.
Do it.
And tomorrow.
Do it.
We out, y'all.
Peace.